Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, an officer-involved shooting overnight. We'll have the details coming up.
Plus, lawmakers in Congress now demanding answers from companies like Tyson about how the virus spread so fast inside meatpacking plants.
And we are looking at another round of soggy weather on the way for your Tuesday. More details, that forecast, it's all coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Groundhog Day, as a matter of fact. We were just talking about it. You know, Phil says more winter, but Kristen, it's actually been pretty mild.
Yeah,
huh?
according to our temperatures yesterday, we were well above average, almost 20 degrees above our average for this time of the year. 64 degrees officially in the Tri-Cities yesterday. We will see a few more changes out the door this morning, so let's talk about them and when can you expect some rain showers. So again, a live look right now downtown Yakima. We are looking at a pretty quiet start for you overall, drying out as the sun comes up this morning. It should be a beautiful day overall, although those winds are expected to pick up once again. So there is the rain that we have moving in from the south, mainly from the Columbia Basin into the foothills of the Blues early this morning. Again, dry conditions for Yakima and Ellensburg early this morning. The wind not too bad, at least right now, but it will start to pick up. Some of our gusts today could be up to about 25 miles per hour. Temperatures early this morning. Yakima, you're at 46, 47 in the Tri-Cities and those upper 40s for Pendleton and even for Walla Walla. So a few showers this morning, back to a mostly sunny sky there this afternoon, and we are looking at that high temperature of 55 degrees. So could we expect any more wet weather as we head throughout your work week? Your full forecast, it's coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. We're tracking the latest after a man was shot by a police officer in Richland last night. This morning, the investigation into what happened is underway. Our Neil Fisher is at the scene where the shooting took place. He's live this morning. Neil, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Monica. An investigation is underway after a Richland police officer shot a man just after 7 o'clock last night near the intersection of Duportail Street and State Route 240. Police believe the man was involved in a rollover crash off of State Route 240's Welshon Way exit. When officers arrived to the scene of the crash, no one was inside the pickup truck that had rolled over. Officers began checking the area to locate anyone that had been involved, and in doing so came upon a suspect near a walking trail off of State Route 240.
Not long after that initial contact, shots were fired by a Richland officer. There was a male subject who was struck and injured, and he's been transported to a local hospital.
The suspect's condition is unknown at this time. Richland police reported that the officer was not injured during the shooting. The name of the suspect and the officer has not yet been released. Investigators were at the scene for about 7 hours. We reached out to the Special Investigation Unit for more information and have not heard back. Once we learn more details, we'll have those all for you on our website, yaktrinews.com. Reporting live in Richland, Neil Fisher, Cap KVUE Local News.
Thank you, Neil. Well, former Seattle Seahawks NFL player Chad Wheeler has pled not guilty to 3 charges stemming from an alleged violent attack on his girlfriend. Wheeler made his plea yesterday in Kent, Washington. He's accused of 2 felonies, domestic violence assault and unlawful imprisonment. Wheeler is currently free on $400,000 bail that he posted on January 26, 4 days after the alleged incident. Wheeler's next court date hearing is set for February 11th. The trial is currently set to start on April 6. And take a look at this. This is just off George Washington Way in Richland. Police tell us a speeding driver went over the curb and ended up on the front lawn with their car on fire yesterday. Firefighters were able to get everything under control before flames spread to the house, and there were no reports of anybody being seriously hurt. The Benton County Fairgrounds site in Kennewick leads the state in vaccine doses administered. 4 mass vaccination sites have been established in the state. The Benton County Fairgrounds site has vaccinated over 3,800 people so far. The next closest site was Ridgefield with just over 3,000. In total, almost 11,000 people have been vaccinated at mass sites in Washington so far. The Kennewick location accounts for around 35% of the total doses administered in the state so far. Well, several mass vaccination sites in Western Washington had to shut down yesterday, and they'll remain closed today because they just don't have enough supplies. Health officials say they hadn't scheduled any appointments for either day. We checked the numbers for Walla Walla and Tri-Cities, though, and both are planning vaccinations on Wednesday.
It may not be today or tomorrow or even this week, but you will get an appointment soon.
It's so frustrating. It's frustrating for them. It's frustrating for us. The worst part of my day is telling people they cannot have their vaccine today.
That's a pharmacy worker who says she got a few doses of the vaccine, but not nearly enough to keep up with demand. Yakima County is expected to get 3,900 more COVID-19 vaccine doses this week, more than twice as many as last week, but still not enough to open its own mass vaccination site. The governor didn't choose Yakima County for a state-run mass vac site like the one in Benton County, so leaders there built their own. Without vaccines, though, it sits empty. Commissioners and healthcare facilities say they've asked the governor for more doses, but they haven't received a response.
The purpose of that letter was to say, just give us more vaccine, just give us at least proportionate to our population.
Commissioners say while Yakima County makes up 3.3% of the state's population, it received just 1.5% of doses. Local officials are concerned given the county's extremely high case rates last summer and because people there are disproportionately affected by the virus. At 5:06, let's take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. But first, let's take that live look outside.
And we are dealing with more wet weather as you head on out the door this morning. I'll have a look at Skywatch radar and just a look at how long these rain showers will last. Your forecast is coming up.
Plus, we're talking about big travel changes across the country, the supplies you'll need to carry, and how long the new rules will last. Welcome back as the clock turns to 5:10. You now have to wear a mask anytime you're on public transportation, including airplanes and ride shares like Uber and Lyft. The CDC says a face shield doesn't count, and neither does a scarf or bandana. Several airlines have been enforcing mask requirements for months already, but now with the TSA on board, you'll have to wear a mask from the minute you get to the airport. And the Tri-Cities Airport in Pasco will also begin enforcing that new mask mandate. At PSC, passengers may ask for a free mask from their airline carrier or airport staff. Those who refuse to comply may be denied boarding, asked to leave the airport, and could receive a fine. Face coverings have been required at PSC since June, but now the penalties are harsher on a federal level. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, we're tracking the latest after President Biden met with Republican lawmakers hoping to reach a deal on a coronavirus relief bill. Welcome back. In news from across America, a bipartisan economic rescue plan. It's the first major test of President Biden's pledge to work across the aisle. The president is pushing a $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief plan, which would include $1,400 checks for most Americans. Republicans, though, have their own $618 billion counteroffer with $1,000 checks. President Biden met last night with 10 GOP senators.
No, I'm anxious to talk.
What this meeting is not is a forum for the president to make or accept an offer. Clearly, he thinks the package size needs to be closer to what he proposed.
The two sides agreed to hold more talks, but if bipartisanship doesn't work, Democrats may push ahead with their plan anyway, using reconciliation in Congress. Vice President Kamala Harris holds the 50-50 Senate's tie-breaking vote. Well, January was America's deadliest month of the pandemic. Johns Hopkins University says more than 95,000 people died from COVID last month. That's about 22% of the total 441,000 deaths in the U.S. since the pandemic started. According to one of the latest projections, another 200,000 Americans are likely to die by the end of April. At least 32 states are reporting cases of the COVID-19 variants. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the U.S. has at least 471 cases of the strains, first reported in the UK, South Africa, and Brazil. Most of the cases are the more contagious variant first detected in the UK. The CDC says it's most prevalent in Florida, California, New York, and Michigan. The strain that was first detected in South Africa was found in 2 people in South Carolina and 1 in Maryland. And Minnesota recently reported a case of the strain first linked to Brazil. The CDC warns that these numbers likely don't represent the total cases in the U.S. Some Democratic lawmakers are pushing President Biden to provide better masks. Senators Bernie Sanders, along with other representatives, published a letter that calls for invoking the Defense Production Act to increase the supply of higher quality masks. The leaders recommend using the U.S. Postal Service to deliver medical-grade facial coverings to communities. The letter also adds that better masks not only make it less likely to transmit COVID-19, but they also help prevent the mask wearer from contracting the virus. GOP Congresswoman Liz Cheney is getting support from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in a Republican Party battle over former President Trump's impeachment. Cheney was one of just a handful of Republicans who voted to impeach Trump last month on a charge of inciting the deadly January 6 Capitol insurrection. Cheney's vote sparked a political assault by Trump loyalists, including efforts to oust her from the third-ranking spot in House GOP leadership. But McConnell said in a statement Monday that Cheney had, quote, the courage to act on her convictions.
Now, Cap KVU First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
And what a mild day yesterday for some locations, climbing up in the low 60s, 64 degrees officially in the Tri-Cities yesterday. And we're still talking about some mild temperatures, winds picking up for today as well, and even a few rain showers moving through early this morning. Still dark at this hour as we're giving you a live look right now in downtown Yakima. Sunrise today at 7:17. Sunset later on. We are now after 5 o'clock with this sunset, so 5:04 later on this afternoon. So as I mentioned, we are tracking some rain showers on Skywatch radar this morning. A few of them working through portions of the Tri-Cities and into the foothills. A dry start though for the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley. So as the sun comes up this morning, you're looking at a dry start, more sun in the forecast for you as well. But a closer look here, you can see some of these scattered rain showers, maybe a few embedded moderate rain showers moving through as well. So just plan on the umbrella, have that nearby as you head on out the door this morning. And then further to our south here around Milton Freewater and Walla Walla, you can see some of those rain showers moving in from the south as well. I think the rain will hang on a little bit longer for the foothills as we take you throughout the day today. Also, winter weather advisory. This is a new one that has been issued for parts of the eastern slopes and the Cascades as well, starting at 1 o'clock today till 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So as you'll see there, the eastern slopes expecting an additional 5 to 9 inches of snowfall, and then parts of the Cascades there it could be picking up anywhere between 6 to 14 inches of snow. So additional snowfalls on the way for some of those higher elevations, and all this unsettled weather continues to make its way through as well for the Pacific Northwest. So let's get you over to Futurecast. We will see some sunshine here or there throughout the day today, as you'll see even by 9 o'clock this morning, drying out from the Tri-Cities. Again, the Yakima Valley seeing a little bit of some sun, but hanging on to a few showers at least through the lunchtime hour for parts of Walla Walla and down into Pendleton. Notice most locations at the lower elevations clearing out, but the snowfall will continue through the eastern slopes, and that will be the case overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning with that snow. And then you can see by 6 a.m. might see even a sprinkle or a flurry popping up in some locations out the door, not expecting much. And then we should quickly clear out for your Wednesday afternoon, back to some sunshine. And then on Thursday, we will have a mixture of some sunshine and clouds. Pretty quiet here locally as our temperatures should be still above average. The majority of the 7-day forecast, we will see numbers above our average. Now, wind speeds will be picking up for today as well. We are starting off early this morning with some of those wind gusts, winds at times 10 to 15 miles per hour. And as we take you throughout the day today with some of those winds, we are expecting those winds to pick up maybe up to 30 miles per hour before starting to calm down for your Wednesday. So temperatures, as I mentioned, we're starting off at least in the Tri-Cities in the upper 40s. Walla Walla early this morning, 48, 46 for Yakima. So as we take you throughout the day today, upper 40s for Toppenish and Yakima, 55 there in the Tri-Cities into Hermiston, and then 60 for Walla Walla. So overnight tonight, pretty quiet, just a cold night. Temperatures upper 20s and low 30s. So there's that 7-day, pretty quiet towards the end of the work week. 57 Friday, a lot of sunshine this weekend. And then that 7-day for Yakima, slight chance for a rain snow mix early tomorrow, partly sunny Thursday, and 47.
Thank you, Kristen. Before we take a quick break, take a look at this live video from the East Coast where a record amount of snow has fallen over the mid-Atlantic states this week. We're taking a look at that massive snowstorm next. The first nor'easter of 2021 is bringing boatloads of snow to states from the mid-Atlantic to the northeast. Forecasters say New York City could see up to 2 feet of snow. Nearly 65 million people in 12 states are under a winter watch or warning this week. A state of emergency was declared ahead of the storm in New Jersey, and some still have to trudge out in the snow to get to work, but others are bundling up and making most of the blustery conditions.
We love it. We're from upstate New York, so this is like normal for us. I feel like we love a snowstorm. We're prepared, although we have snow tires.
Yeah, just getting a nice walk. I work from home, so every once in a while I take these breaks.
LaGuardia Airport and JFK in New York had to cancel numerous flights yesterday, and Amtrak suspended some of its service in the region due to the weather. Well, check this out at 5:25. It looks like we will have 6 more weeks of winter. That is because today we have an answer if you believe in the folklore surrounding Groundhog Day. The groundhog woke up from his hibernation this morning. Sometimes he's actually pulled from his nice warm home, but legend has it that if the groundhog sees his shadow when he emerges from his burrow, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, spring will arrive sooner, but it looks like he did see his shadow this year, so prepare for more winter. Pennsylvania's Punxsutawney Phil had a virtual reveal this year due to the pandemic, but I don't know about this Phil guy. I trust you more than Phil, Kristen.
Well, if you look at the accuracy rate, which is not the greatest, I think it's like 36, 37%, but it's always fun. An interesting thing, too, to note is he usually sees his shadow. It's been like 100 times, 102 times.
Wow.
So last year, though, he did not see a shadow. It was like the 20th time he didn't see a shadow. So more likely than not, he will see a shadow.
Oh, that's a fun fact that I never knew before. All right, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a new Washington law meant to reduce pollution has now been delayed. More on why the pandemic caused the delay. Plus, a creative new way the Tri-Cities Visitor Center is bringing attention to local businesses struggling during the pandemic.
And we are seeing some more wet weather, especially in the Columbia Basin early this morning. The rain is coming down. A look at how long you will need to hang on to that umbrella in your Tuesday forecast. It's coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday morning. Groundhog Day, as a matter of fact, and some rain moving through on this Groundhog Day, right, Kristen?
It is, yeah. A little bit of a soggy start for some locations. So the good news is the rain isn't going to last too long today, but let's talk about your morning commute and what you can expect. Again, the best chance for some wet weather from the Columbia Basin into the foothills, the Blues. That live look you can see from Richland's Columbia Point, still dark at this hour, 7:17. That is the sunrise for today, so less than under an hour until the sun comes up this morning, and we are expecting some sun to return for the second half of the day today. But we are dealing with the rainfall around portions of the Tri-Cities down into Hermiston, and then that'll continue to push off to our east into the foothills. Much drier, though, around Yakima and Ellensburg this morning. So as the sun comes up, a lot more sun in the forecast for you today as well. There are your winds. Not too bad this morning, but they're expected to pick up. Some wind gusts today, 25 to 30. And we're starting off this morning just after 6:30. Temperatures for the most part are in the 40s. So as we take a look ahead to your Tuesday forecast, we're expecting some sunshine to return this afternoon with a high temperature of 55 degrees. So how long are the winds expected to last, and could we see any more wet weather? Your full forecast, it's coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. Well, we're tracking breaking news overnight after a man was shot by a police officer in Richland last night. This morning, the investigation into what happened is underway. Our Neil Fisher is at the scene where the shooting took place. Neil, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Monica. An investigation is underway after a Richland police officer shot a man just after 7 o'clock last night near the intersection of Duportail Street and State Route 240. Police believe the man was involved in a rollover crash off State Route 240's Welshon Way exit. When officers arrived to the scene of the crash, no one was inside the pickup truck that had rolled over. Officers began checking the area to locate anyone that had been involved, and in doing so came upon a suspect near a walking trail off of State Route 240.
Not long after that initial contact, shots were fired by a Richland officer. There was a male subject who was struck and injured, and he's been transported to a local hospital.
The suspect's condition is unknown at this time. Richland police reported that the officer was not injured during the shooting. The name of the suspect and the officer has not been released yet. The investigators were here at the scene for about 7 hours. We reached out to the special investigation unit that is handling this case and have not heard back yet. Once we learn more details, we'll have all of them for you on our website, yaktrinews.com. Back to you, Monica.
Yeah, we'll be checking in with him again soon. Restaurants in 7 western Washington counties got to move into phase 2 of the governor's latest reopening process. But for those in our area, it's going to be at least another 2 weeks before we can see if we qualify. Meantime, Visit Tri-Cities is working to highlight local businesses with a new video series posted on YouTube. They're hoping the videos will encourage visitors to try something new and ease everyone's minds about coronavirus safety protocols.
So what we wanted to do was give small businesses a platform to reach out to the community, tell them that they're open, that they are happy to welcome people in there, but also highlight those COVID precautions that they're taking.
So far, they've profiled 3 local businesses with plans to post another video each week. You can find links to those on our website, yaktrinews.com. A ban on plastic bags set to go into effect will now be delayed until Washington emerges from its COVID-19 emergency. The ban would have prohibited single-use plastic bags at retailers, restaurants, and any event where food or goods are sold. Shoppers would have been charged 8 cents for a paper bag or a thick reusable plastic bag, or avoid the fee by using their own bag. The pandemic created several challenges in implementing the ban, with the growing demand for takeout containers and a greater restriction of reusable bags in grocery stores. Now, this brings us to our poll question of the day. Do you think retailers should be banned from using plastic bags? You can vote now at yaktrinews.com/vote, and we'll share those results with you at the end of the show. Congress is investigating meatpacking plant COVID outbreaks like the one last year near the Tri-Cities. The House Select Committee on the Coronavirus sent letters to Tyson, Smithfield, and JBS USA. The government wants information on infections and deaths. It also wants to check the company's outbreak response. More than 50,000 meatpacking workers have tested positive. At least 270 have died, including 3 people at the Tyson beef plant in Wallula. Walla Walla first responders saved a baby girl from choking over the weekend. Walla Walla police say they got a call about a 1-year-old choking and bleeding from the nose and mouth. The officers didn't wait for an ambulance. They jumped right back in the patrol car with the baby. Officer Nat Small says he was still trying to stop the baby from choking as they raced for the hospital.
I have a kid about the same age, so definitely was hitting close to home for me, and I was just, doing the best that I could for her. So
paramedics met up with officers before they got to the hospital, and they were able to get her breathing again. The baby was later airlifted to Spokane for further care and then released from the hospital. Turns out she had been choking on a piece of plastic and a penny. We'll check this out at 6:35. Zoo Montana in Billings has a tradition similar to Groundhog Day, but it's focused on the Super Bowl. And Sid the Wolverine is predicting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the big game. On Monday, he chose between 2 whipped cream covered dishes, one with the Buccaneers logo, the other with the Kansas City Chiefs logo. This was Sid's first time serving as the Zoo's Super Bowl predictor. He was called up after the recent retirement of Ozzie the Grizzly Bear. I just love seeing videos like this.
This is so cute, though. These are all just fun. We're having fun with the same thing like Phil. We just have fun waking up. It's Groundhog Day. What's Phil going to predict? Even though, the accuracy is very, very poor. But,
well, we'll see how it turns out.
We will see how his prediction turns out.
All right, let's take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. But first, let's take that live look outside.
And we are looking at a soggy start early this morning. I'll have a look at how long the rain and even the wind is expected to stick around. Your full forecast, that's coming up.
Now, KapKView First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
It is February 2nd, and again, if you're just waking up this morning, Phil did see his shadow. Now, if you have fun with this folklore, it just means 6 more weeks of winter, even though the calendar says, yes, that winter will continue. But locally here in the last couple of days, we have been dealing with some very mild temperatures. Actually, yesterday, 64 degrees officially in the Tri-Cities, 20 degrees above our average. And we're going to continue that trend of above average temperatures. Rainfall, though, is moving through early this morning. As you can see, most of these rain showers mainly from portions of the Tri-Cities into the foothills of the Blues. So that is where you will want your umbrella as you head on out the door for that morning commute, but drier around the Yakima Valley this morning. So as the sun comes up, right around 7:17 this morning, you're going to see a lot more sunshine. So there's that line that we have some rain showers around Kennewick this morning, a little bit of some drizzle from Richland into Benton City, but looking much drier for you over the next half an hour or so. And again, this is starting to fill back in from Walla Walla, Milton Freewater, and down into Pendleton. So it's certainly going to be a soggy start to your morning. I think the second half of the day today, you will see some improvements. Now, there's also an additional winter weather advisory that's in place for the eastern slopes and also the Cascades. Expected to start at 1 o'clock today through 10 a.m. on Wednesday. This could create some travel delays. As you can see for the eastern slopes, expecting 5 to as much as 9 inches of snowfall, but still pretty active around the Pacific Northwest early this morning. We are going to see a little bit of some sunshine trying to peek out throughout the day today, so that is good news. As you'll see here with Futurecast, 9 o'clock this morning, even taking you throughout lunchtime, a little bit of some sun, lower elevations, and still a few showers left over from Dayton into Walla Walla. And then we'll slowly clear out for the majority of the lower elevations, but notice a little bit of some snow, as you'll see here for the eastern slopes. That'll continue overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then we will see some sunshine back across the area for tomorrow afternoon. So we could be dealing with early tomorrow morning, maybe a sprinkle or a flurry in some locations, but looking at those improvements for your Wednesday, and then a mainly dry day on Thursday, partly sunny, only a slight chance for maybe a stray shower for the second half of the day. Now, winds are going to be picking up for today as well. Not too bad, at least out the door right now. Most folks between 5 to 10 miles per hour, but notice here with Futurecast starting to pick up late morning into the afternoon hours, 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts today, and then starting to calm down tomorrow or tonight into for your Wednesday, starting off your day. Temperatures early this morning, we are starting off in the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla at 48, 43 in Prosser, and 44 in Yakima. So there, a look at high temperatures today in the upper 40s for Toppenish and Yakima, 55 Tri-Cities with 51 in Prosser, and then over in Dayton at 54, 60 today for Walla Walla. So overnight tonight, it is going to be a cold but quiet night. You'll see a partly cloudy sky as numbers fall through the upper 20s and low 30s. So your 7-day forecast, again, a sprinkle out the door tomorrow morning and then drying out through the remainder of the work week into the weekend. Mostly sunny there Saturday and Sunday in the upper 40s and low 50s. And then that 7-day forecast for Yakima, you'll also have a slight chance, maybe a snow flurry out the door tomorrow morning. Then partly sunny sky there Thursday at 47.